Ya, bisa dimulai, Miss Novita.
Okay, for our audience, those who has entered the room, we're about to begin. So please have a seat and make yourself comfortable. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to the Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Ummi Naiemah Saraih, as a Head Center of Excellence for Social Innovation and Sustainability from Universiti Malaysia Perlis in Malaysia. And a very warm welcome to the participant and student from STEKOM University. Is it indeed a pleasure to have all of you in this memorable occasion? And I would like to thank God for gathering us here in a visiting lecture program regarding managing business conflict those personality matter. Before we begin, please allow me to read our agenda this afternoon. First session class will be delivered by our guest lecturer, Associate Professor Dr. Ummi. And finally, there will be a question and answer session after the presentation and continue with a brief for a photo session at the end. And we will start for this event today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind all of the participants to turn off the microphone during the session. And I hope you will enjoy this event until last session for our audience. And then, for now, we will start with class with Associate Professor Dr. Ummi. Yeah, for Dr. Ummi, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, you're most welcome, Miss Novita, and all of the secretary and team member from STEKOM universities. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to send my greatest pleasure for letting me in again to join or to present one of my title in today's international lecture. Okay, my name is Ummi Naiemah binti Saraih. I am the Associate Professor of Faculty of Business and Communication, Universiti Malaysia Perlis, okay, UniMAP in short. And at the same time, I was in charge as the head of one of the COE, Center of Excellence in my universities, UniMAP. We call it a CoESIS, Center of Excellence for Social Innovation and Sustainability, or in short, we call it CoESIS. Okay, so before I go further, thank you again for letting me be one of the participants in today's session. And to not further ado, let me try to project my lecture slide. Okay, I would like to share my screen now. All right, a moment. Okay, can be clearly seen by the participant? Okay, first and foremost, thank you for all of the participants. And as for today, I would like to share some of the experience and some of the information on managing business conflict. Does it depend on the personality of employees in the organization? Okay, so before we go further, actually personality and also conflict is two of the elements that are very crucial under the domain of human behavior or organizational behavior, to be specific, OB. And we all cannot run away to be involved and engaged in personality and also facing with a very variety types of conflict. A moment, I would like to make this. One. A moment, yeah. I would like to hide this picture first before I can continue. Kat mana ya? Tak boleh. A moment, yeah. Okay, it is fine because there are several video on the right corner of my presentation slide. Okay, actually, what I would like to talk and share today is regarding personality, one of the important element, and also conflict, because conflict and personality are those factors that are become very crucial in all type of organization, including the business organization. Okay, based on the empirical evidence, organization that successfully can implement that implement OB principle are able to creating and nurturing the acceptable and desired personality traits, and also understanding and able to know about the conflict management. So this one is quite ruining my moment. It is quite ruining my presentation. A moment, yeah, let me handle this thing first. Okay, is this slide can be seen now?
Yeah.
Is my okay. Now let me continue. All right. So the principle of today's presentation is to understand about the existence of personality. There are 5 types of personality, and also there are 5 elements of conflict resolution. All right. So we are go further in details one by one. But the principal aim in today's lecture is to learn that personality actually can create an impact on how we can resolve or handle the conflict which we had to face in our working environment as well as in our daily life. So, okay. Next slide. Okay, so studying behavior, especially by altering our personality and managing conflict, can help us to become a better manager if we are leaders or COE or head of the department in our organization. And as employees, it may help us to become a better employee. So this is when we understand more about ourselves, we can understand how people behave as well and why they display those type of behavior. Okay, so the element of personality and conflict is something that can be learned, and after that we can alter ourselves in order to form the most desired type of personality in order to find a very optimum solution in managing our conflict. Therefore, conflict management will help us to maximize the functional behavior. And at the same time, if we learn about conflict and personality, it can help us to minimize the dysfunctional behavior. In a simple word, functional behavior is some of the behavior that are positive and may create a good impact not only to the person who engage with that behavior, but also around the people that close to him or that particular person. And in contrast, dysfunctional behavior are the type of behavior that can be classified as the negative or can provide the poor condition to the person as well as the environment and surrounding of that particular behavior. So in order to maximize the functional behavior, we can create and nurture the acceptable and the desired image of personality among employees. And also we can practice the most appropriate style of communication among colleagues, because most of the conflict occurred based on the miscommunication or misinterpretation based on the communication that or conversation that occur at least between two people, right? And also functional behavior, the healthy and constructive disagreement between two or more people actually can result in the new development of ideas, learning, and also growth. And at the same time, we are going to learn how to minimize the dysfunctional behavior. Okay, we would like to eliminate and avoid the personality that creates problem or can make the conflict bigger in the workplace. And at the same time, we are trying to practice the most appropriate style of communication among colleagues in order to lessen the impact of conflict, because sometimes we cannot avoid the conflict to be happen in our life. And also unhealthy destructive disagreement between two or more people, if it cannot be resolved for a long time, may boost a very bad image or impact, not only to the employee, to the top management, but it also will give a bad image to the whole organization or business. So now, there are several types of a definition which have been given by some of the previous authors of conflict. So I take one of the definition which have been given or provided by Griffin, Philip, and Gilly in 2017. They define conflict as a disagreement through which two or more parties perceive a threat to their interests, needs, or concern. So in a simple way, conflict happen when there are disagreement at least between two people or two persons. So the more the increase in the workplace, diversity, the more potential of conflict to be exist. Because in all of the organization, there are many type of employees that come with various type of personality. So the disagreement must be there, must be occurred, because we are have a different type of personality. Therefore, we have a different angle, different perception, different idea in order to manage or handle with the conflict that occurred in our daily life. So, conflict can be categorized into two. The first one, we call it functional conflict. That one refers to a healthy, constructive disagreement between two or more people, which resulted in new ideas, learning, and growth. And this kind of constructive conflict can make both employees develop a better solution when they start thinking to be rational about the conflict. In this kind of conflict, actually, most of the person who engage with the disagreement, they try to think as rational as they can in order to focus more on the solution of the problem or matter that they need to decide. Okay, rather than to be emotional, they are trying to look it as rational as they can in order to find or realize the KPI or aims of what they are trying to do. And another type of conflict, we call it dysfunctional conflict. This conflict refers to an unhealthy, destructive disagreement between two or more people. And this kind of dysfunctional conflict is normally originated based on unstable emotional that we display. All right. So that's why if we see how people manage their conflict, how people manage their problem, it actually comes from the emotion of that person. How far they can handle that emotion, rather than to be rational and try to put away all of the emotional matters behind. Okay, so this is the important to perceive that actually all type of conflict can be managed, but it will go to the personality on how the person form himself or herself and how much he or she can control the words or the action that be made by him or her. Okay, these are the 6 causes of conflict. Okay, there are several types of conflict cause or antecedent predictors of the conflict. And here are the 6 types of conflict. Okay, according to one of the researcher. The first one, we call it task conflict. This conflict appear when there are disagreement about the task or the goal. Okay, maybe person A understand about another task and person B looking at that task in another angle or perception. So that one will create a disagreement between them and can be referred as task conflict. The next one is process conflict. This is the agreement, okay, this agreement about how to accomplish a task or goal. So in order to fulfill one goal or task, there must be several steps and procedure and also process that involve. So the way in order to fulfill that task, to realize that task, there must be some of disagreement in each or in one of the steps that involved in the process in getting the work done. And the third one, we call it relationship conflict. This is the incompatibility between individuals or group, okay? And this is usually refer more to the personal matter rather than to look on the important or the formal or the rational type in order to fulfill one of the tasks or KPI or goals in one of the organization. So rational relationship conflict occurred before the conflict started. The relationship is already not so good, and that will be a cause to make one of the conflict, a further conflict will be occurred. And the fourth one, we call it conflict of interest. This type of conflict can be occurred if there are competition over resource constraint. For example, we have a very limited budgetary or financial in one of the organization. Then we need to decide which department should be prioritized and need to be given the bigger percentage of that budgetary. And this is how the department normally can try to defend, to show that their task is more important to get the big amount of that budget in order to realize the whole KPI of the organization. And the fifth one is conflict of information. This one is referred to the lack of disagreement of information or misinform or misinterpret of information. Maybe the same kind of information is not reached to all of the department in our organization, where maybe some of the department may gain more information compared to the others. So this will also create and be the cause of conflict in the term of information. And the last one is conflict of task interdependent. This type of conflict may be occur when there are interdependence between one task to another task, where maybe department A need to wait the information or the process from department B to make they can continue with their part. So sometimes this kind of conflict must be happen in most of the organization, because in all organization there are some of interdependent type there, where one department will depend on another department to continue their process or their task. Okay, this is all about the 6 causes of conflict. Now we look on 4 different classifications of conflict. All right. Okay. We can categorize conflict into 4 classification or types. The first and second one, intrapersonal and interpersonal. This conflict takes place within or between an individual. As for the first one, intrapersonal, it takes place within an individual. The person experiences in his own mind. Thus, it is a type of conflict that is psychological, involving the individual's thoughts, value, principle, and emotion. It will start with the very simple type of conflict, such as what type of or what kind of attire that I would like to wear today. Okay, maybe I would like, as for me, baju kurung in green color or in blue color. So that also refer to the very easy or simple type of conflict that occurred within an individual. And the most the most type of conflict that always occur, we call it interpersonal conflict, where it happen between 2 individuals. Basically, this occurs because of some differences in people that lead to a disagreement. So we have very kind of personality. Therefore, we have a very different perception, ideas, and also the way to decide any type of problem or any matters. Therefore, the conflict might be happen because of the differences between one people to another people. And the third one is conflict that we call as intra-group. Okay, the intra-group conflict occurs among individuals within a team or in a department. Okay, the incompatibles and misunderstanding between teams members lead to intra-group conflict. Whereas the last one, Intergroup conflict occurs when a misunderstanding arises among different teams within an organization. It might be easy to understand that the conflict exists between one department to another department or one group compared to the another group. So now we are going to go further into the starting of conflict. Okay, conflict resolution is a method by which two or more parties find a peaceful solution to a disagreement among them. Okay, if you believe it or not, actually conflict will start with a very harsh words maybe from one to another. So this is we need to be very careful because not every person can be so open in receive or accept the words that come from our mouth. So I give a few of the example here. This all of the sentence might be the start of a conflict. For example, I'm doing my best at work and what you expect me to do more. Okay, so why don't you ask the other team members? And what kind of evaluation that you give me? I'm working hard to accomplish all this. So these all are how conflict might happen. And conflict also is not occurred in the surrounding of working environment. It is also happen in our daily life, in our family, in our marriage, right? So before we go further to the personality, and the most important is how we trying to use our words. Maybe at some point we need to use the harsh word, but at some point we need to do a very, what we call it, a very smooth, right? A very comfortable words that people can understand it easily and absorb that easily. But it all depends on the person who involved with the conflict, with the two parties of personality. So now we are going to look to the first type of conflict resolution. Actually, according to Thomas and Kilman, there are 5 types of conflict management style or conflict management resolution. The first one, if you look at the graph, there are competing, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, and also accommodating. Okay, if you look at the collaborating, this is the most ideal type of conflict management style where in the collaborating type, we are going to get a win-win situation to the both parties who involved with conflict. And as for the collaborating, if you notice based on the graph, collaborating is the type of conflict that has a high level of assertiveness and also a high level of cooperativeness. All right. So the second one, we call it compromising. It is at the center. Okay, at the center, compromising. It is something that between the both parties, they are trying to make a decision that win some and lose some. So this is also a type of conflict management that are quite good to be implemented in the organization. But whatever it is referred back to the what type of conflict that occur. So the third one, we call it accommodating on the right bottom, accommodating. This type of accommodating is always let the other party win and they are the lose in that type of decision or conflict resolution. Okay, we go to the fourth one, we call it competing. Competing have a high level of assertiveness. It is on the right, on the left and top left, high of assertiveness and low level of cooperativeness, win-lose. The first party would like to always be the winner and let another person to be lose with the interest in that conflict. And the last one is avoiding. Okay, avoiding, it has a low level of both assertiveness and also both of cooperativeness. All right, so we go in details. This is the first one, collaborating, the most ideal one. Okay, you win and I win. All right, win-win situation. So the objective here is to find a creative solution acceptable to satisfy everyone. Okay, to satisfy everyone. Okay, it is on the top right corner, high level of assertiveness, high level of cooperativeness. So we go to the second one. It is compromising. Okay, it is intermediate in both assertiveness and cooperative. It is at the center, all right? So mutual acceptable solution that partially satisfy both parties, all right? Okay, and the goals are moderately important. Right. Okay, we go to the third one. We call it, what is this? Accommodating, okay, accommodating. It is unassertiveness, but cooperative, all right? And we realize we are wrong and cannot win. And harmony is extremely important. And if you notice, most of the husbands out there always practicing this kind of conflict resolution. And for example, they just let the woman or the wife win because they do not want to make the conflict become bigger. All right. So you win, I lose. So let you win. All right. So these are also a type of conflict that can be practiced in the organization if harmony is most important rather than the goal or task that need to be fulfilled. All right, we go to the fourth one. This one is called competing. And assertive and uncooperative, everyone know that you are right and dominated by person who has strong personality. At some point, this kind of conflict resolution need to be taken by leaders who need to handle a very, what we call it, huge numbers of employees. Because we have a very big number of employees, it is something impossible to satisfy each of the employees that we have. So at this time, we need to use the autocratic power, right? The autocratic power to make a decision and need to decide and make the conflict is less impacted for the majority, okay? To create a less impact of bad impact to the majority of the person who involved in that matters of conflict. All right, the last one, this one we call it avoiding. This is the most unassertiveness and uncooperativeness, and this technique may lead to postponing the conflict. And to be frank, these are type of conflict resolution that I myself sometimes use this kind of conflict where I just would like to let that things just go with the flow, right? But sometimes it depends on the personality of myself and also the personality of person that involved with the conflict. Because sometimes this kind of unfinished conflict or unfinished business, in future, it may boost and become bigger. Maybe it is how you see something, all right? You can use this type of avoiding when you can perceive that conflict is something that only minor. It creates a lesser impact on you. Okay, so you can use this kind and let no winners or no losers, but anyway, you are bringing that conflict in future if you still didn't resolve it and if you still cannot forget about the conflict that occurred. All right. That is the end of my slide regarding managing conflict. Now we are going to look on another element under organizational behavior. We call it personality. And again, there are several definitions of personality definition, right? But this one, I quote from Griffith et al. Again. So personality is referred as relatively stable set of characteristics that influence an individual's behavior. So combinations of characteristics that form person unique identity and behavior which define personality. So individual differences. No two people are completely alike. The more we understand those differences, the better we can work with others. Hence, in order to understand human behavior, we must know something about the person and about the environment that's shaping the behavior of that particular person. And the way in which factor like skills, ability, perception, attitudes, and as well personalities which are differ from one to another individual. So we are gaining various type of personality working together in one organization. Therefore, the disagreement that refer to the conflict might always happen because we all have a different personality and a different angle in looking at any kind of matters or goals in our organization. So factors that can form a personality, it can be categorized into two. The first one, we call it inherited characteristic. The second one, we call it learned characteristic. So under the inherited characteristic, we can see the extrinsic and intrinsic type, such as colors, colors of eyes, colors of hair, colors of skin. This is the type of extrinsic or the tangible type that we can observe about people. And the next one is intrinsic. This is like the personality that are intangible, such as easygoing, happy-go-lucky, bad-tempered, or moody. Actually, the inherited characteristic can be observed since maybe in the childhood or in the when from baby. Sometimes there are babies that may be always smiling, but sometimes there are baby that always show they are not in good mood. So this one is actually based on the inherited characteristic. However, this inherited characteristic can be changed because we also can have the learned characteristic. Okay, nobody learn everything by birth. First, our school is our home, then our society, followed by the educational institute. So the characteristic of people or person not only be formed by the inherited from their parents, but it also can be learned since our childhood until our adult, and maybe until anywhere we can still learn. So for example, perception, values, and attitude might be changed based on the time, based on the exposure that we receive. Okay, so we go further. The important things is the personality is something inherited and also can be formed based on the learned characteristic. So we actually can change our personality once we notice that personality is not so good in developing our own career or our own task or role, right? So I go to the next slide, factors that affecting learning. Just now, factor that affecting personality. So now in this slide, factors that affecting learning. Learning factor based on this slide can be rooted based on 4: motivation, practice, environment, as well as mental group. If you notice here, motivation and practice is the one that become internally formed by the person themselves. However, environment and mental group is the external indicator that might shape how we are learn and take one of the information in our life. So motivation is a set of forces that shaping individuals' behavior, and the encouragement, the support one gets to complete a task, to achieve a goal is known as motivation. It is a very important aspect in learning as it gives us a positive energy to complete a task. And the practice, even we know about that things is good to us, but if we are avoiding, keep on trying, reluctant to practice that kind of characteristic, so we cannot move or change ourselves into a better person. So we all know that practice makes us perfect. In order to be a perfectionist, or maybe we cannot be a perfectionist, or at least we complete the task, it is very important to practice what we have learned. Therefore, what is the important here is, learning is something that can be forced by ourselves by having a high level of motivation and by practicing that kind of element in ourselves. Okay. The second one is also based on the environmental and mental growth factor. Environment or the external factor also can help us in shaping or in determining how far that we can be good in changing our personality based on the learned characteristic. So environment, we learn from our surrounding, we learn from the people and situation around us. So our upbringing also become an important agent to support the success of our learning, right? So it sometimes depends on the support of family, support of the sibling, support of the good and loved one, okay, love or the close one to us. This is also can shape us to change our personality to be a better person. And the last one is the mental group. It describes our thinking by the group of people we choose to hang out with. Okay, some people say if we make friends with the good type of people, so we are also can change ourselves to turn and also be good like them. Okay, so in a simple word, we make a group of those people with whom we connect. So it can be referred for a social cause where people with the same mentality work in the same direction. Okay, now we go to the next slide. It is regarding the big five personality. Actually, personality traits is not only exist based on this, or we call it in acronym OCEAN. Okay, big five personality. Openness, O. Conscientiousness, C. Extraversion, E. Agreeableness, A. Neuroticism, N. So this type of big five personality can be easily remembered by the acronym of OCEAN. Believe it or not, all of us might be engaged with any type of these traits or dimensions of personality. All right. Either we are very high level of openness or high level of conscientiousness or high level of extraversion and low level of neuroticism. But based on the psychologists, all of us might be engaged with this type of personality traits. All right. So as for the openness, the capacity to entertain new ideas and to change as a result of new information. As for the openness type of personality, they are always open for the new or innovation that occur, okay, in their environment. Conscientiousness is referred to ability to be counted on to get things done. This kind of person have a very high determination in completing a task. All right. So he or she will put 100% of focus in order to make the things done. The third one, we call it extraversion. This kind of extraversion personality are people that are very easygoing, friendly, and can make friends with any kind of people. And the fourth one, we call it agreeableness, the ability to get along with others. Okay, so they have a high level of cooperativeness and good in managing conflict. Okay, and the last one, neuroticism. This is a kind of the highlighting the negative side of personality, where this kind of people experiencing anger, anxiety, fear, moodiness, all of these are such of the not so good personality. Okay, but we can try our hard to make sure that we can only display a good dimensions of personality traits in ourselves later on based on the measurement for each of these personality traits. All right, now this is the acronym of OCEAN, and this is McCrae and Costa, the one who introduced Big Five personality, and the explanation here is more on the, what we call it, to enhance our knowledge on the OCEAN. Okay, openness, the high score is curious, wide range of interest and independent. The low score is practical, conventional, and prefer routine. Okay, but openness, they are not the person who have a high level of openness. They normally will not want to engage with the routine work. So they open themselves to the new and challenging tasks. So all of these are only the explanation of OCEAN or each dimension of personality. So I think I would go further in elaborate all of this. The important things here is I would like to get your attention that based on the research, okay, it is confirmed that each type of the personality traits, either it is agreeableness, openness, conscientiousness, or neuroticism, it can be linked to the way on how we can manage our conflict. Okay, for example, this study have been done by this researcher, Sabnam, okay, in 2017. Okay, they revealed that the 3 dimensions of personality traits, such as openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness, were found to have a significant and positive association with the use of integrating or collaborating style of conflict handling. It means that if the people have high level of openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness, therefore she or he also will have a high level of handling conflict by using the collaborating style. Okay, the next findings by this scholar is agreeableness also at the same time had a significant and positive association with avoiding style. Therefore, people with high level of agreeableness, one of the traits under personality, will have a high level in handling conflict by using the avoiding style. Okay, and the third one, the conscientiousness was found to have a significant negative relationship with the compromising style of conflict handling. It means that people who have a high level of conscientiousness, they have the tendency to seldom or not use the compromising style. All right, and another statement regarding the result of what have been found by Sabnam regarding openness, extraversion, and conscientiousness with the significant and positive in handling conflict in the term of dominating or competing. And the last one, neuroticism and agreeableness at a significant positive relationship with obliging or accommodating in handling the conflict. So not only this researcher has did a study on linking the personality and conflict, but there are another study like I share here, all right, also in 2000, this one is 2018, there are also provide some of the result by providing the connection between the element of 5 traits of personality with the way of handling the conflict management resolution. For example, this scholar or researcher found that extraversion was highly correlated with competing, but low correlated with accommodating, compromising, avoiding, and collaborating, which signified that the extrovert managers force their employees to resolve the conflict. Okay, and this is the evidence showing that there are an empirical evidence that personality can be mapped and relate with the way we can handle the conflict in our life or in the organization. This is again, for example, personality does affect conflict handling style. This one have been done in 2010, and also big five personality factor and conflict handling style also have been done. And I believe that this is not the only study which have been done. Me also and my student, one of my MBA student last year, we also do this kind of research by focusing on manufacturing employees. And we are also have some sort or similar finding based on the past researcher, but I didn't edit it. I don't have enough time to edit our own research by linking personality and handling style in this presentation slide. So what is important here, significant association between 5 personality traits and conflict management style is can be mapped. All right. So the next one, when we know that personality is the one that might create an impact on the way how we manage our conflict. Therefore, we need to know what type of item that measure each of the traits under the Big Five personality. Okay, if you look at this, a brief version of the 5 personality inventory. Okay, this measurement only contains of 10 items. Okay, this one have been originally developed by Ramstead in 2007. Okay, measuring personality in 1 minute or less. Okay, you can use this just to look at where you are. For example, if you look at this measurement, it has 10 items. Okay, extraversion goes to item number 1 and number 6. So, person with have extraversion. Okay, I see myself as someone who is reserved. Okay, that one is the reverse coded item, and number 6, if she or he is the type of extraversion, I see myself as someone who is outgoing or sociable. Okay, this is a very brief version of Big 5 personality if you would like to know, and this can be obtained at the link that I provided at the bottom of this slide. Okay, http OCF Berkeley. All right, and each of the 2 items belong to each of the personality. Here, extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, and openness to experience. So, if you go to the 44 item version, this is the most popular measurement that scholars use in conducting research on personality. Okay, there will be 44 items to measure each of the facets under the dimension of a Big 5 personality. Each of these facets correlated with trait adjective based on Big 5 personality dimension. Therefore, we can alter our own personality if we can well understand of the traits in this facet. And hence, we can create and nurture each of these facets to form our desired personality. All right, so as long as for me, when it creates a positive impact on us as well as on the other party, thus why don't we change and try to practice and understand what type of traits that is applicable to us, that is more beneficial to us and our employees or colleagues or people that surround with ourselves. And all of this can be obtained at the link which I provided at the bottom of this slide. If you would like to look on each of the facets, okay, like this, this is the ordinary type of scale in measuring 44 version of Big 5 personality. Okay, they mix all of the dimension in 44 items. But here, you can look at here, which item which belong to which type of personality. For example, we go to extraversion. The item is number 1, right, is talkative. 6R, 6 is for the reverse item. Okay, reverse coded. It means that it is something that contra with what have been stated here. So the third one is number 11. Okay, I see myself as someone who full of energy. That one refer to the extraversion. And then number 16. Okay, number 16 here. I see myself as someone who generates a lot of enthusiasm. All right. And next, 21R. 21R, where is 21R? Tends to be quiet, but this is the reverse question. It means that I see myself as one who are not to be quiet. Okay. So we can know about all of these traits according to its own dimension by looking at the what we call it, the indicators here, right? And how we can measure person who engage which type of personality. So this is what I try to combine. For example, based on the 44 version just now, for the openness, it has 10 items. For example, if we would like to see or to form ourselves to be more open in our personality, so we try to be original, come with new ideas. is curious about many different things, is ingenious, a deep thinker, or has an active imagination. All of this element is bring in this based on the 44 item that I displayed just now. So as for the openness, there are 10 items, conscientiousness, agreeableness, there are 9 items each, extraversion, there are 8 items, neuroticism, there are 8 items. So we look another example. As for extraversion, the person with the personality of high extraversion will be more talkative, reserved, this is a reverse coded, full of energy, generates a lot of enthusiasm, has an assertive personality, is outgoing and sociable, and is sometimes shy and inhibited. This one is the reverse coded. So this is a contradict with the person who engage with the extraversion traits of personality. Okay, next. Why do I react different with another people in the similar situation? Okay, now it is 3:51. So why do I react differently than others to similar situation? Of course, the answer is because we are all different. Okay, we are all display a variety type of personality traits. Either we have a level type of openness or level type of conscientiousness, right? So every human being is unique, but this uniqueness originates from the combination of the 5 personality traits we all share. Okay, this is only based on one of the scholars just now, McCrae, because there are also other personality types that I did not touch in today's presentation. As for today's presentation, personality is giving in the perspective of Big 5 personality. All right, so if you later on would like to know what type of personality that you are, okay, you can go to this link. And this link contains of 120 items. Later on, you need to answer all of these 120 items, right? Regarding all of these facet or dimension. And later on, when you finish to answering question number 120, this kind of graph will appear. So based on this, you will know which type of personality do you have. But to be remind, you need to answer it with a truthful, okay, to be sincere in answering the question. So we will know about which type of personality do we have if we do this Big 5 personality test. Okay, you maybe can take this link and later you can try by yourself if you have time. But this is the test that contain 120 items. If you would like to go for a smaller numbers of items, this is the 44 items just now that I share. Okay, so you can go and can enter this link and start to do the quiz. And later on, it will reveal, okay, what type of personality that we have. And I think this is another type of personality, Big 5 personality that contain of 50 items. And this one, 86 items. Okay, you can go to this link and try to do yourself later on if you have time. Okay, now picture. Okay, this one actually I have cut off some of the slide. Based on the previous slide, actually I have shared some picture that showing what type of personality by looking at one of the pictures. So if we, for example, one picture, some people might have the first image is the old girl and another people might have image of the younger girl, right? So that one is not doing, I don't have time to doing with you this time. So whatever it is, the most important thing is I would like to take your attention that although personality refers to the stable characteristic of individual, however, it can still be nurtured based on the learned facet to form our desired personality traits. And as long as it creates a positive impact on us, as well as for the others, why don't we change and try to practicing a good type of personality so that we can take most appropriate decision in choosing the most practical conflict management style, either in the workplace or in our personal life. So I think this is the end of my slide. All right, it is only 3:55. I think that's all. Okay, so in order to know more about the way to handle conflict, first and foremost, we can try also to form our personality to make or to lessen the negative impact of that conflict based on the type of personality or type of behavior that we display. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation today. Thank you for your time and thank you for your attention. Okay.
Thank you so much for Associate Professor Dr. Ummi. And
Okay.
then we will go to the next session for questions and answer session. For everyone, if you wanna asking question, you can raise your hand or you can write in room chat. Thank you. Maybe I will read first question audience from YouTube. This is from Miss Febriana. Can human personality influence conflict resolution and why? Does the occurrence of conflict shapes one personality? Thank you.
Miss Novi, will you please cut the question because I'm not so clear about the
Okay.
question just now.
Or maybe we can
Can you share
it-
in the chat?
or maybe I will first question raise hand in here from Mr.
Okay.
Henki.
All right, okay.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Henki.
Okay, thank you for the chance. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, but quite far away.
Quite far. Huh?
Quite far. Maybe it is because it is raining here, but it is okay. Please go on, Bapak Henki.
Yeah. Okay, then hopefully you're fine, yeah. From Perlis, yeah.
Yeah, Perlis. The northern area. Yeah, near to Kedah, the northern part of Malaysia. Near to Thailand border.
All right.
Thank you.
4 years. Okay, Prof. Ummi, my question is about personality. Regarding my paper, my research area is on sustainable tourism. And then the editor asking me to put more about psychometric.
Psychometric, yeah.
Psychometric. Can you describe about the link between sustainability and also psychometric? Because psychometric, they are divided by 2 domains. The question is, should I tabulate both of them or only one of them?
Sorry, Bapak Henki, you would like me to link between psychometric tests and
yes, psychometric and
sustainability.
Yes.
Okay, looking back on our title of today, psychometric can be also used, okay, by using the personality test just now. It also can be referred as the psychometric test, right? One of the form of test. But as for today, I just gathering all the information to map between personality, the 5 traits, and conflict management. Maybe if Papa would like to elaborate more, you can elaborate conflict, personality, go to the conflict, and conflict handling is very important to make the organization can be sustained. That one is not covered in today's lecture.
Yeah.
But of course, I believe if you search more, personality or psychometric can be linked to just now. There are evidences showing that the linkages between personality of psychometric and conflict handling and conflict management is very crucial in organization because it will help the organization to sustain. right, when we can perform, when we can achieve the highest level of effectiveness and performance in our organization, therefore we can make our organization sustain. So maybe I did not do much reading on direct link between psychometric and sustainability, but I believe that psychometric can be mapped to the personality and conflict management, and conflict management will be the indicator to boost and to make the organization sustain.
Oh, I
If
see.
I'm answering you, if that makes sense. But whatever it is, the important is to base on the empirical evidence. We need to find evidence. It means that what have been done by scholar saying that conflict also can be the important element to sustain the organization, to sustain the business. Or maybe we need to find the evidence, psychometric directly go to the sustainable.
That's
Right?
that's a point. Yeah, right. Let me share something. Prof. Ummi.
Okay.
Regarding sustainability, I can share with you there are 3 domains. Firstly, economically, and then secondly is environmental, and then the thirdly is policy. While
The second one, Bapak, economic, and then the second
economic, environment
and
policy.
And policy, yeah. Okay.
While psychometric, as far as I know, there are 2 domains. Firstly is reliability, secondly is validity.
Okay. All right. So you are talking about psychometric into the categories, Bapak. Okay, no, you are talking on psychometric in the term of reliability and validity.
Right.
Okay. What can we say, right? Okay, psychometric is something that quite vast. Okay, it's quite huge. It is not very rigid. Okay, if you look and you find about psychometric tests, there are a lot of tests that can be conducted. Like yesterday, I also hear about yesterday lecture, you also asking about psychometric, right? And you would like to relate it with the recruitment, right?
Right.
Yesterday, right? So psychometric actually is not only can be referred to reliability and validity. Okay, there is a huge environment or dimension of psychometric. But as for today, we are going to look at the element of psychometric by enhancing our understanding towards the element of personality. But psychometric also can be looked at another angle, such as the emotional intelligence. Maybe yesterday Bapa stated that how we can link the psychometric and look and test our candidates in the recruitment phase, right?
Right.
So that one also, the things that we can done during the recruitment, during the selection process. And of course, we cannot ensure 100%. Those that can perform in answering those psychometric tests are those who are very genuine in giving their energy to support our business later. Maybe at certain point, at first they maybe provide a very good performance. But later on, maybe something happened, they might run away from the initial stage that they come and entering our organization. But in today's lecture, I just would like to give my perception that psychometric is not only rigid to one type of things. Sometimes psychometric also we can look into the element on how we can handling stress, depression, and anxiety. Just now we relate it into the emotional intelligence. And today's presentation, we are looking on how psychometric in the element of personality. And all of these elements actually can be met also under the domain not only psychology but organizational behavior or OB. But as for today, I try to find a specific evidence showing that personality is linkage to the element of conflict handling.
Conflict, right?
Conflict handling.
I
So,
see.
Bapak would like to ask more about sustainability, right?
Right.
So, I didn't do much reading on how I can link personality directly to the sustainability. But of course, I believe there are already research have been done on this. So we need to find the evidence based on the past research, saying that what type of psychometric which have been tested, either it is in the form of personality or in the form of emotional intelligence or in the form of managing the mental health such as mental stress and depression, right?
Right.
And maybe in the term of communication or maybe in the term of leadership, that's all can be referred to the psychometric. It is quite a broad definitions of psychometric.
I see.
Right.
Right. Thank you. And my last question: do you mind suggesting me one reference book of psychometric?
Okay. Maybe later because I also don't look so many in the broad type of psychometry. I just go into the single dimension of psychometric, right? I only go to the book of leadership. So actually I am the docent here, the lecturer here. So normally I am not so well aware about the big or the umbrella of psychometric at all. But however it is, I will try to find the book and asking of the expert of the psychometry in my university. And I will share with Miss Novita later. Maybe Miss Novita can give the suggestion of that book to you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Is that all, Bapak?
Okay. That's all.
Hopefully that my answer a little can give something to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Okay. Back to Miss Novita, ya. I return to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Hengki. And then we have a second question from Mr. Sudarto. Yeah, for Mr. Sudarto, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you very much for moderator.
Mr. Sudarto.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh for Mrs. Presenter today. That's very excellent, ya.
Ya, apa kabar Mr. Sudarto?
Oh, very good. Kabar baik.
Okay.
Okay. Where do you now?
I am in Malaysia. Actually, today is the off day in Malaysia because we are going to have the election on 19th. So tomorrow we are going to have the election. So today our Prime Minister declare as the off day to everyone. Because all of them are going back to their hometown and go to vote.
Oh, yes.
Their parties. All right. So today I am at my home. Yeah.
Okay.
So I notice here is the mediation process better for resolving conflict. Mediation process. What do you mean, Bapak? Mr. Sukarno?
Yes.
You mean the mediator to helping us to resolve the conflict?
Yes, very interesting for the topic, yes.
Okay, so we need we call it orang tengah, right? The mediator, the orang perantara. Do you mean like that?
Mediator.
Okay. At some point, if we cannot resolve the conflict between us and the party who involved with that problem, so sometimes the mediator may be the next step that we can take into account. But the important is we need to know the sincerity of that mediator. Sometimes bias can be occurred at any way. We are all human beings. Sometimes the mediator also maybe have what we call it favor in one type of the parties, right?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
So as for me, actually, personally to say, if I have conflict, I would like to solve it with the person who engaged or facing the conflict with me. If like we don't have any other solution, we are trying the competing the any 5 of the conflict resolution, but the problem is still ruin us, and the problem is cannot be let go. So by that time, maybe we only can call for the third person to help us in finding the best decision or solution that can create a win-win situation for both, right? But it is very important to make sure that the mediator is the person that we can be trust, right? Because sometimes the person also, they are also human being, and it may depend on the case by case, and the biasness also might be occur. If we let the mediator trying to solve the problem on behalf of us. Do you agree with me, Bapak?
Solution from online. Online.
Sorry?
The solution can give by online. Yes.
The solution by online, what do you mean?
If we have a conflict, you can.
Suaranya mungkin bisa didekatkan, Pak. Soalnya kurang dengar. Ya.
Okay. The sound very small, maybe.
Okay, now better, right?
Have you heard, sir, Mrs.? Have you heard my sound?
Yeah, now better.
Okay, very good. By the way, I have question for you, maybe. Okay. Can I ask something for you, Mrs. now?
You can?
Okay,
You would like to continue with the next question, yes?
Yes.
Can Miss Novita, right?
We know that almost all humans have undergone education, including character education, especially religious people. But how can still there be conflict between people in this world? Maybe there is some answer from you.
Okay, thank you, Bapak Sudarto, for that nice question. Conflict will still occur, will remain occur in this world because we have a different personality between one to another. We come from different family, we come from different environment, we have different childhood, we have different upbringing. So it is different of us in shaping our own mind and in looking at every type of conflict that happen. So this is how the disagreement occurred. But normally or basically in organization, that's why the leader or the top management, normally they will create a culture, or they will claim the KPI or the objective or the mission and vision to ensure that all of the employees in that organization can go and work by focusing on that track in order to make sure whatever it is, this is our KPI. So we to focus more on the solution that can create a good and beneficial to our organization. And sometimes conflict cannot be resolved if we have the tendency to be more emotional rather than rational. But if we can look ourselves and change ourselves, changing from the emotional type to the rational, of course, I believe that we will able to handle the conflict better, because the thing is we would like to make a good decision that applicable and beneficial to all. So to answer your question, why the conflict is still happen? Because everyone have a different personality, different perception towards managing and handling things.
Okay, thank you.
Is that okay? All right.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So the conflict will occur for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. But by the time we know the cause of that conflict, so by the time we have a vast experience in handling that conflict, so why don't we try to change our personality in order to make sure that the conflict will be there, but we try to make a decision that is created lesser impact to all of the parties that involved with that conflict. Sometimes we cannot satisfy all, but try to satisfy the majority of the people there, right?
All right. Thank
That
you
is
very
my
much. Yes,
opinion.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. See you.
Yeah, see you. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
welcome.
much for Mr. Sudarto. And then we have a question. This is audience in the YouTube.
Okay.
I'm ready in room chat.
Which one? Mr. Awalukafif. Is that what role does personality play in conflict and conflict resolution at the workplace? All right. Okay. Okay, Mr. Kafif, maybe. Okay, just now, if you notice that my slide, we have 5 types of personality according to McCrae and a friend. So it called there are 5 elements or openness, C, conscientiousness, E, extraversion, agreeableness, and also neuroticism. So these 5 elements of conflict refer to the different dimension of personality. Therefore, based on the study, based on the research done by the previous expert and scholar in the domain of personality and conflict, they found that each of these elements of personality is something related to the way of handling the conflict. If you look at the element of 5 categories of conflict handling, there are also 5 competing, avoiding, and the others. So each of the element of personality is positively associated with 1 or 2 elements in conflict handling. So we need to use which kind of personality is deemed important by that time to make sure the type of conflict or resolution that we would like to cater are the most beneficial that can create the win-win situation for all. Okay, is that okay, right? Is that answering, Miss Novi?
Yes, Miss. And then we have still 3 questions again from audience.
Okay. So the next one from Miss Evi Hernawati. Okay, let me read. What big 5 personality traits with personal branding? Okay. Again, I only do my survey, my searching on the big 5 personality, and personal branding is something in the domain of marketing, right? So maybe I don't know about this because I didn't do a very detailed reading on how to connect big 5 personality and personal branding, because my domain of research is more in the HRM, human resource management, and also OB, organizational behavior. But maybe there are some of the direct link between big 5 personality and personal branding that we need to search based on the existing literature. At the moment, I need to reserve this answer because I sincerely don't know the existence of the linkages between personality and personal branding. Okay, so can we go to the next one?
This
This is the last one.
Question
This is
from Miss Febriana and Miss Sukamto. I will write it again.
Miss Febriana.
Yes.
Where? This one I have Miss Sukamto. I have answered just now, right? Regarding the mediation process. So,
Yes, please.
okay. Can human personality influence conflict resolution? Yes. And why does the occurrence of conflict shape one's personality? Okay, this is go back to the cause of conflict. Okay, cause of conflict that form or make the existence of conflict. Okay, and personality is the method that we can alter that is internally controlled by ourselves. The cause of conflict, such as task conflict, interdependent conflict, that one is something that we cannot handle because it is not controlled by us. But on how we are trying to manage the conflict, we can look back on our personality. Because if you look at the personality, this is the one that we can control by ourselves. So the cause of conflict is based on the 5 causes, the 6 causes just now. But personality can be one of the tools that we can alter and nurture in ourselves in order to find the most ideal conflict management style that we need to take by that time to solve that problem or conflict. Is that okay, Miss Febriana?
Yes, Miss.
Why don't you turn off your mic? But you prefer to chat the question here.
And then the last question, this is from Miss Sukamto.
This one also I have answered just now.
Oh, like
The one, the Bapak who turned on the camera just now, right?
Oh,
About the mediator, orang tengah yang mungkin boleh bantu kita uruskan konflik.
okay. Ya, mungkin bagi para for our audience, if you wanna asking question again, you can raise your hand or you can write room chat before I closing this event. I guess no more,
No more question.
no more question again.
Daftar hadir saya usah juga daftar hadir, please. Is there any link for the attendance of today's session? Please survey most of them and ask for the daftar hadir.
Yeah, because usually we share the certificate for our
Okay,
people.
then the link absent not. That is not the link of attendance. That is the link of absent, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before I closing this event, we can. I'm sorry. We will go to next session. The time. Take a picture for documentation. So, Miss Febri, you can handle it.
Okay, thank you, Miss Novita. Okay, for those who haven't activated the camera, you can active or open the camera first so we can take photos together. Okay, let me count from 1, 2, 3. Okay, and again, smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, thank you, Miss Novita. I will return the event to Miss Novita.
Thank you so much for Miss Febri. And before I closing this event for Associate Professor Dr. Ummi, you will say something before maybe?
Okay, I would like to thank you all again from all of the team members in STEKOM universities, and inshallah, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and also from the teams under my Center of Excellence. And inshallah, in future, I would like also to invite the docent from STEKOM University to have the online lecture with us. Okay, in Universiti Malaysia Perlis, and in accordance to that, I will further my conversation with the secretariat in STEKOM University. So hopefully that we can mutually have the benefit based on the session like this. So that's all. Thank you very much, and see you all again. It is my great pleasure to have a good time with you all. And thank you to the person who asked through the question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So
Especially to Bapak Hengki, always active and participate to make our session live.
Still, I'm in Malaysia. Before I'm to UUM.
Oh, UUM is nearby to my home, about 10 minutes from my home.
Years. I'm there 4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Oh, last time you are in the University of Malaysia.
Yeah.
Okay, Bapak, we talk later because they want to end the session.
Okay.
Okay, see you. See everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. See you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Po. Thank you for our audience for attend this meeting until last session. Thank you so much for everyone. We hope we can meet again in other event in the future. Thank you so much. Goodbye and see you soon.
Okay, thank you and take care everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Mbak Gas. Mbak Gas.
Oh iya, YouTube. Pak, belum penuh. Okay, I think that's enough for today's event. Thank you. Good afternoon. Have a good rest. Bye-bye.